Welcome, Soulardians, and this is Marcus Boston.
I'm Cecil W. Adams.
And we want to thank you for listening to another episode of the Soulardians. And you can find me at Marcus Boston 314.
You can find me at Cecil W. Adams on all platforms.
You can pick up your merch, Soulardian merch, from buyjack.com/the Soulardians.
You can also go down and support Colorado Bob's Ship of Fools at 3457 Morganford Rd.
We would like to thank you and ask you to like, share, comment, and have your friend listen to the Soulardians. And we would like you to enjoy the show.
Peace.
We act like this a studio, this really just a trap.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Soulardians. I am Cecil W. Adams, and there isn't a Marcus Boston today. Because my guest and I are going to talk about booze, wine, beer, all the good stuff, and Marcus really can't help in that situation. Because if it's not cognac, he doesn't know what it is. Cognac or Jeremiah weed, he doesn't know what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to welcome Steffen Spinks.
Hey.
Clap, clap, clap is where he usually plays this. Clap, 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 clap. I don't know where it's at because I would play it. Hold up. Nope. Don't know where it's at because I minimized it and this is an Apple. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, you should have the applause.
It is okay by me, man. I'm actually just kind of excited. Never been heard about the podcast thing.
Right.
Never really thought I'd be in one. So this is a little bit different.
Yeah, well.
I mean, I sell alcohol for a living, so I mean.
Right. It makes sense to be on my podcast.
Right. Exactly.
Right. So, yeah, it's so if you want to tell them a little bit of background about what you do, you don't have to name where you work, but if you want to, you can.
I've pretty much I'm restaurant background heavy. I went over to retail just to be able to get out of the crazy hours.
Mm-hmm.
Working on my level 3. I just moved
Level
back.
3 SOM.
Yeah.
SOM is sommelier for all the listeners that don't know what a SOM is.
And it's weird because even when I'm at work, people will be like, they'll call me over for a question and they'll see me like, what? Like, really?
Yeah.
Came back from California about a year ago. I moved out there because obviously the wine industry is really heavy.
Yeah.
I was doing a lot of my blind tastings and a couple of wine bars, and I was starting to get on with some of the wineries, and moved back here. Needed a change.
Right.
It was way too expensive.
Yeah. I can see that. California's like, it's a good idea, but I just want to visit.
No, seriously, like, when people ask me about it, even when I told my girl about it, I was like, she asked me, like, what's the big thing out there? And I was like, you pay for the convenience. Mm-hmm. So, in the Midwest, you have pretty much St. Louis and Chicago. Mm-hmm. Where I was at in the Bay Area in Hayward, Oakland's 15 minutes away. San Francisco is a train right away.
Right.
San Jose's 30 minutes. You have a lot of options between, like, you know, speakeasies, restaurants, wineries, microbrews, distilleries. You pay for the convenience because the weather is nice. It doesn't snow. Your speed limit is at least 70.
Either, does it?
Yeah, I know, right? It's like there's a lot more things to do, but when you get to the point that you're trying to, like, settling down, or however you want to call it, when you realize that the lifestyle that you're trying to be a part of is just not for you.
Right.
Like, there's people that are doctors out there that have, you know, $3 million houses and no furniture. You know what I mean?
Talk about the show, baby.
Yeah, you riding around the Benz, you got your Beamer 7 Series, and you're like, oh, I'm living. It's like, no, not at all.
Just the 7 Series.
Yeah, hey, they say that, and then you're like, okay, try to put gas in it. When you got to drive, when you got to commute 45 minutes to an hour, and then when you come home from work, you're commuting 2 hours because you're sitting in trappic on 880 and I-5.
I can't. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I hate trying to come back to the studio from Bob's. I'm just like, oh, this is taking too long. But, you got to realize years prior, I was like, the whole time I worked at 60s, it was a golf cart ride.
Exactly. It's like, it's right down the street, literally.
Yeah.
I'm 20 minutes away from work, maybe. It might change to like 10 minutes here, in the future. I'm okay with having that kind of drive and then getting in traffic for like maybe 15 minutes and I'm still moving.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, people getting out of their cars and dribbling basketballs in traffic out there. Like, it's
I just
insane.
don't. Yeah, I could never. Like, it's not. I couldn't do it. I just wouldn't want to do it.
I'm glad I did it. because I would have never the experiences that I got for what I'm trying to do.
Yeah,
I never would have got if I would have stayed in the Midwest when I got done with basketball.
Fair
so
enough.
it was a good move.
You're a hooper too. That's right.
I haven't touched the basketball in I don't know how long. I
Bro,
gave it up.
I tried to shoot the other day. I felt good leaving my hand and come up 5 foot short. I'm like, oh.
You over there, weight room?
Right, exactly. Because you played, or did you play at Quincy?
No, well, I went to NCAA D2 school and we played Quincy, and then I went, before I transferred there.
You went, what D2 did you go to before Quincy?
University of Illinois Springfield.
Oh, yeah.
I was there, and I played. Before that, I played 3 years at College of Idaho in Caldwell, Idaho.
Right.
And then I graduated from UIS, and tried to finish school and everything else.
Right.
And then as soon as I started going to like combines and I got chances to leave the country, I was gone.
Right.
Man, I was gone.
Oh, did you play overseas?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know you played overseas.
Yeah, it was
You
fun.
better be quick, because you ain't big.
Hey, man, you had to go. You had to put that out there.
I'm just fucking.
No, it's let's see. I'm 175. Like when I was playing, I was in off season when I would do weights and everything else and eat right. I would hit 190, and then when I got to playing weight, I was between like 188 to 185. So
was you a point guard?
I was a shooting guard.
Shooting guard? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So people are like, "Oh, you about point guard?" No.
Shoot, I can shoot the lights out,
dude. Hey.
Were you from Illinois?
I was born in Granite City. I lived in St. Louis when I was a kid. Because I used to live in Bell Fountain.
Okay. Amazing softball fields there, by the way. That's the only thing I know about Bell Fountain. Is amazing.
Well, back then it was like middle class when I was a kid.
There's some badass houses in Bell Fountain.
And then we moved because it started changing. And then I went to I moved to St. Piers and O'Fallon for a little bit, and then my dad got a job when I was going into the 5th grade, and then I grew up in California, so I was there from 6th grade through college pretty much. So, and then after that, my parents left California without telling me. So I got out of school at junior year, and they moved back to Illinois. And I called them because I was getting my ticket to go home. I was like, all right, so am I meeting you guys because my grandparents live in Illinois,
right?
Both sides. So I was like, am I meeting you guys in Illinois, or am I going back to California? It's like, oh, just come to Illinois. And then when I landed, that's when they dropped the bomb and said, oh yeah, so Dad got laid off. Your sister, she was at school with me at the time in Idaho, and then she left. She didn't tell me.
Jesus.
I get back, I land in St. Louis, and they're like, yeah, we live here now. Like, I was like, what do you mean we?
Is there a mouse in your pocket? Like,
I'm sitting there, I was like, what happened? They dropped everything on me. I was like, oh, okay, well, either I'm going to stay in the Midwest now, or I'm going to move. And trust me, when I was doing my transfer for college, I was trying so hard not to stay here. I couldn't do it. But it was fun. I mean, I dealt with it, and then I kind of grew into it. But I got my restaurant and wine beginnings in the Midwest, because when I get done playing basketball, I was like, well, I don't want to go into a cubicle job. I don't want to deal with. I'll deal with people, but I'd rather be in restaurants. And then
that's how. I mean, I was the same way. Like, so in high school, I started working at Cracker Barrel.
Great breakfast, by the way.
You can go there and get filled up, that's for sure.
Yeah, for the LO.
And it was fun. It's what got me started in it, and I was just like, man, okay. So I liked it, so I did it. I was working at a car wash and working at Cracker Barrel at the time, and and then I started playing basketball. Played in high school, and then I signed junior college, but it was in my same hometown. The junior college was, so I was starting to get looked at to go on past that, and I was like, oh, well, I guess I'll just transfer to another Cracker Barrel, because I was working in junior. I wasn't supposed to, but I would sneak over and pick up shifts or whatever, just because fast money,
Exactly.
At the time, I could work a 5-hour shift to make $100, and I was like,
that's why we all got into the industry. Exactly why we all did.
Yeah, I was 18 years old. Like $100 was like fucking 1,000.
You were gas on E, but I can go anywhere I want to go.
Let me pick up a shift real quick. Go in at 4, work till 9 or 8, and then just all right, man. I got $100 on me, like
because at 18, nobody's making that. No one's making money. Everybody's worried about either the valedictorians are worried about scholarships and grants. Then you have the people that are athletes are like, man, they didn't call me back on my visit. Like, I don't know if I'm going. And then everybody else is like, you know what? I'm going to deal with life and then just see where it takes me.
Oh, man. I remember I had signed and one night, I don't know what it was, but I had a game the next day. This is in college, like when I was playing in college, junior college. And I worked, but I had to close, and then all this other stuff. And the game was like we're getting on the bus at like 7. Next thing you know, I'm getting home. At the time, it was like 2 a.m. I'm like, oh fuck. Slept for 3 hours, and then got up and just got up and like went there, and then coach could see in my eyes. I knew he could see in my eyes. I was just dead fucking tired. Still had this I had an amazing game though, but I just remember that life. I was like, man, I really like this restaurant thing. Let me get to a place that serves alcohol someday. And I really didn't get into the bar industry until I got to St. Louis. After I went to South Dakota to play ball. And I don't even say I went to South Dakota for college. I went to South Dakota to play basketball.
Let me just throw that in there.
Yeah, dude, I didn't go for college. That's for sure.
They were offering the most.
Right. No, it was the first. Actually, it was the furthest away from home. That's
really?
Why I took it. I wanted to go the furthest away from home. It was the first fucking man thing I ever did. It was just like, I'm going to go on this journey on my own.
That was me. Like, I went when I was
going to fucking Idaho. Like, Jesus Christ.
I was in California, though.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So, like, everything's 100 miles an hour out there. Like, how I am with, like, even at work, I move 100 miles an hour, and people are like, Steffen, you need to slow down. I was like, no, because I got 6 other things that need to get done in the next 10 minutes. But then when you get somewhere like Idaho, you're like, all right, well, you have natural springs that are, like, north, Coeur d'Alene, there's camping. I'm like, what is camping? Like, I don't do that.
Right.
Like, I go downtown, I go to clubs. And then I got out there and I got to see, like, the side that people talk about that's, like, really nice and calm and hills and trees. And my parents made sure that me and my sister saw that on like family trips and that kind of thing. But I never really appreciated it until I got to college and I was on my own. Then I was like, oh, well, this isn't bad. Like, I'd like to at least be able to have somewhere like this to be able to get away from the city, but I'm still a city kid all the way through. Like, I got to be around some kind of buildings and hustle and bustle and traffic.
Yeah, and see, so where I came from...
There goes the coaster.
This is why we can't have nice things. See, for me, I grew up in Southern Illinois, so I grew up in a town of 550 people. So, like, I had woods and farms and all that shit around me, and we went camping. That's what we did for vacation. And then, I don't know what it was, but every time we come to St. Louis to go to Six Flags or something like that, they'd be like, oh, I could never live in this city. It's so scary, blah, blah, blah. You know, people I'm with, mom, dad, whatever. And I don't know what it was. I was just like, oh, man, you're telling me I shouldn't come here and live?
Are you sure about that?
I'm gonna do that just to. It's just like down the area where Colorado Bob's is in Tower Grove South. I was talking to because there's like 7 bars on that strip, right there, and from Olathe to Arsenal, and they were all like, "Oh man, the guy that owns this one bar, like he's an asshole. Nobody likes him. Blah blah blah." I'm like, I'm going to meet that guy. And now he's like he's been one of my best like people to help me learn about being in ownership and that type of thing. He's been great. He's just old and really frugal. So, but he's got it done. Like to me, I don't want anybody to be my enemy. I'm there to like learn because everybody's gonna teach me something.
Right.
Even with the bullshit that I had to deal with for the stumble the other day, it's still cool. I learned. So. He's helped me a lot, and then another guy that people don't like in that area. I've learned a lot from him as well. No, I shouldn't say that. He helped me get some stuff that I was looking for, like barrels, like wood barrels. Right. He owns the brewery down there or whatever. But yeah. So getting back on track. So man, 4 years passed. So where did you play high school at?
Played high school ball in California.
Okay.
Elementary, high school, and then from there, I was supposed to go to a JC and stay home. Was the plan because I had verbally committed. But
what JC?
Delta in Stockton, California.
Yeah.
I was supposed to stay there.
My roommates in college in South Dakota went to Gardena.
Oh, okay.
They went. God, God damn it! I'll think of it here in a second.
It's not MJC. It's not far enough.
It's
there was MJC, Sac City. Those are the big ones out there.
Right. I'll think of it. It'll come to me here in a minute. L.A. Harbor.
That's south.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
They went to Harbor. Yeah, that's what it was. Because like 3 of them actually went to Harbor.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot. I just can't imagine what's going on.
It was gangster as fuck. My roommate in college is 6'9" Polynesian dude.
Can't teach height.
No, the dude was. He had. I will say he had D1 body, but he had like a D12. Not to talk bad about the dead, but he had D12 brain, man. Like he just get mad. He just always got mad over stupid shit, and I'm like, oh, this is why you're not in Division 1.
Yeah, and so you'd be surprised like how many people actually have talent, and then because they let their
ego, it's all ego.
Yeah, they let their ego get the best of them, and then you see them go from like a Division 1, then they end up at like NCAA Division 3, then they go to NAIA.
Yeah,
which in talent level, there's not a difference between NCAA and NAIA. Let me just go ahead and put that out there.
No, there is.
No, there is not.
Between NAI D1 and NAI D1 and NAI D1 and NCAA Division 2-ish, like lower end Division 2. The upper end Division 2 NAI top level cannot fuck with the top level D2s. I don't think.
I would agree with you on that, but here's the thing. When I was a freshman, we were ranked number.
This is in Idaho, when you were in Idaho?
This was in Idaho.
And this is a D2 school?
NAIA D2.
Okay, NAIA D2. That's what I played.
We went to nationals.
Yeah.
The first year, we were ranked number 8 in the nation.
Right.
We were leading the nation in defensive points allowed per game. We went to nationals, and you would not believe how many Division 1 players and pro athletes were on the floor for the teams that were there. So when people say that there's a difference between NCAA and NAIA on population of students that they get and some of the talent that they can recruit, yes. But when you get some of these D1 and D2 guys that, you know, the egos get the best of them and then they just want to go and they want to go play, your NCAA D2s and NAIA levels have so much pro talent. I'm like, understand that some of these teams that are ranked top 3 in the nation in NAIA could really mess with some of these NCAA division, low Division 1s and Division 2s, and some of them can mess with Division 1s on the high end of premier times, but, I mean, you're never going to see it because no coach is going to say, hey, we're going to play in a regular season game against the NCAA Division 1 or NAIA. They'll do it in a preseason because if they lose, it doesn't really hurt them.
1 second. This is doing a podcast.
The great thing about technology.
So yeah, the call was supposed to be like 2 hours ago, and I was like, he's like, oh,
my bad.
Did you ignore me? I was like, sorry, man.
I'm kind of busy. Your window closed.
Right. Well, I would never say that to him to his face.
Oh, okay.
He invested a lot of money into me, so.
Okay, so not into me, so I can say it.
Yeah, exactly. So no, dude, the craziest thing I did was when we went to Canada and we played a team in Canada, Brandon, Manitoba, Manitoba University, right? Uh-huh. And we were just laughing because oh, Canada basketball, blah blah blah. Like oh, you know, they aren't gonna be any good, you know. Motherfucker, we get up there and 8 of the, because I did not know until going there, you could graduate college and then go up there and play another year while you're working. No, of college.
Oh, of college, okay.
Of college. You play 4 years, you used up all your eligibility here, you could go to Canada and play another year while you work on and get your master's.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
you could do that if you're Mormon in the States.
Right. So yeah, there was 8 former Division 1 players on this fucking team. We got fucking worked.
I was gonna say, it's like how
worked.
How was the pregame speech?
Dude, we didn't see any of them, and then we go out there.
Not even in warm-ups.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, before we did a pregame speech, and we didn't see anybody before we played, and then we went out there, and I was like, we just instantly demoralized it. These motherfuckers are just yoking. Like they had a dude that was they had 3 dudes that were 6'9".
You walked through that tunnel, it's like, bruh.
We're all walking out hyped up. We're overconfident. We walk out there, we're like, oh, fuck.
You look at Coach. Coach is over there on his whiteboard making notes that aren't going to make any kind of sense.
Right.
Hey, guys, we need to do this to win the game. Yeah, all right. Coach, you want to suit up and play? No, I'm good. I'm retired.
Yeah, so, no, Coach didn't even know. He didn't
even know.
He walked out, he was like, ah.
Who was in charge of recruiting? It was one of the assistant coaches. They suck.
No, it just they made the schedule was made. So I will say that schedule was made before he so he'd just taken over. He was a high school coach for 20 years, and he took over. He wanted to coach college. So after warm-ups, we went, it's warm-ups, and then they go over, and we talk, and we do this drill afterwards, and we go over and talk. He's like, all right, guys. This is the most sincere I've ever seen the motherfucker here. I've ever heard him say. He's like, let's just have fun, okay? We're in Canada. He's like, I know you guys see what's over there. I see it too. I didn't know. Not saying it's not my fault. I didn't know. But hey, let's just have fun, okay?
Hey, he's a real one for saying that. I don't know a coach in America that would come out and say that when the game starts.
Just see, I mean, our tallest guy was 6'8". We had one guy 6'8" from Memphis, 6'7" from Memphis, Prentice Sizer, and he's skinny 6'7" kid he was good, but those dudes were men. Like you got to think they probably redshirted as a freshman, so they were. So Prentice was a sophomore when we went up there, and so I'm guessing they had to be like 22 or 23, and we're all, he's 19, skinny 6'7" kid that could jump out of the gym, but
still trying to eat his PB&Js in between classes.
Yeah, it was fun, but yeah, do you think? So going back to what you were saying earlier about how you move so fast and like you're always doing stuff. I'm the same way. Like I'm always like, people are like, man, stop working so hard. I'm like, why aren't you working this fast? I don't understand. Exactly. I think it's that basketball mentality where you just get shit done.
Yeah, and that's one thing about sports that like I know. Well, parents and then like just look on the outside looking in, because like you look at high school players now, you're just sitting there like, oh my god. Yeah. And it's just that mentality of I want to be better than the next person. If someone brings me something new, I want to be able to own it, like take it in and learn from it, but I want to be able to build on it. There's so many people now that like they're content or they're just lazy, and they think that they have their whatever job they have is just, it's great, it's awesome, but it's like you need more, and when you want more, you move as quickly as you need to, because it's like if you're not trying to pass this next exam, then you're reading something that's like, because you heard something at work, you're like, okay, I didn't know what that was. All right, let me get home, Google this or whatever, and find out what I can about it.
I think as far as like high school athletes now, if they're legit, motherfuckers are finding them real quick. Like,
it's like sixth grade now. Like they're
having personal trainers and shit. They're doing it for free.
I don't get it. Like even back in
so fast. Like growing up where I was at, there was no workout. I didn't know about workout shit.
Yeah,
because I'm in a small little town. But like now, there's a kid. I can't remember exactly. Southern Illinois somewhere. Anyway, so he had started with a trainer in 7th grade. Did never have to pay for the trainer because he just wanted to help him. So because he knew that kid was going to be
big time,
big time, and he ends up the kid's playing for the Chicago or the Illinois AU Gold. Like,
oh Jesus!
And now that dude took the chance on this kid in 7th grade. Now he's playing for the AU Gold.
Now his name's out there.
Exactly.
You'd be surprised, man. It's crazy. Everyone. There's always, especially now, there's so much young talent that if
it's
you
developing
see it
earlier. Actually, it could be. I think it's because fitness became, exercise has became such a thing now that they're starting them younger, so they're being better athletes earlier, developing earlier. Like for me, my workouts were picking up fucking hay bales.
That's honest right there, though. That's very real.
It didn't help my speed, but it helped my strength.
Yeah, the one thing that I don't get, well, I understand it, but the one thing is like the parents. So if the parents are pushing them so much, and it happened, I'm pretty sure it happened with you when you were younger too. The kids would get burnt out. They'd be awesome athletes and players when they're in high school. Then they get to college and they just go off the deep end.
Yeah.
But then you also seen too that a lot of these athletes are peaking before their sophomore year, in football before their junior year. So there's a lot of that, like, okay, I need to, like, especially in NFL and NBA, I need to get my money now.
Right.
I can't wait. And because
especially NFL.
Yeah, especially. Like, my cousins played in the NFL, and I'm just sitting there, I'm like, it's like, dude, well, he retired, and he doesn't have anything, like those nagging injuries, and especially the CTE. He doesn't have that as of right now. Yeah. But the good thing about it is that, like, he was able to retire, and he's healthy. He's married. He can have a family. He's doing pretty much what Andrew Luck, of all people, that just happened a couple of days ago.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy. I mean, smarter than him.
Yeah. Why
what was it? What was the tight end for? Or was it tight end or guy from San Francisco? He played like 3 years, and then he was like all pro, and then he retired. He's like, I'm having lapses in big fucking white dude. That's all I remember. For the 49ers, yeah.
I don't remember who it was. I know Kittle is still playing over there, and he's really good. I mean, you got Calvin Johnson from the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
He retired out of nowhere. Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these top athletes have retired. And
if you're good with your money, man, I think you can.
You really can, but that's the thing. Either people are spending it like they have it and they don't have it, and then you have the people that are trying to do everything they can to, like, save and be able to have a future in it. And then because of how the market is now, no matter what state you live in, you're not making enough, even though you're working as much as you want to. You're still, like, you're not making, personally, you're not making ends meet.
Right. And who was the guy that him and his wife lived off of, like, 60? He plays in the NFL. I think he's like, I've got a limited shelf life on working or playing in the NFL. So him and his wife.
Did he play for the Ravens?
He may have. Him and his wife lived off of $60,000 a year.
Jesus.
And he just put the rest of my. Well, that's like Gronkowski. You know that motherfucker could retire?
Dude, he didn't use any of his money for his endorsements.
No. It was the other way. He didn't use any of his NFL pay.
Oh.
He just lived off his endorsement money.
Okay. I knew he didn't use. There was something he didn't use.
Yeah, it was his pay from the NFL.
Okay.
There's ice in that. You know?
Okay.
So, like, I mean, you can say what you want about Rob Gronkowski, but hey, dude, I love that guy.
That and his whole family are freaks. Like, they're all huge.
Yeah. Well, both of the other brothers.
Have you seen the dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He used to sell weight equipment, like workout benches and shit. Like, that's what he did. Like,
I wish I could have known that. It was like, yeah.
Yeah. He because he built a awesome gym in the basement of their house, and he's like, hey, you guys want to get to the NFL? You need to spend time in that basement.
Dude.
And so that's why they got started on weights hella early. Because he built them in this gym in the basement.
Dude, like the Gronkowskis of the world and the Wyatts.
Right.
All of them are just freaks. Man.
Yeah, man. The funny thing about Gronkowski is he is way smarter than people give him credit for, I think.
Yeah, he just had an interview about he did a CBD. He's sponsoring a CBD thing, and he had the interview about it. And they asked him,
CTE.
and they were asking him about why did you leave football? And he was blatantly honest. He said, "Look, it wore me down. I wasn't in a good place." And he said after the Super Bowl that he had that bad hamstring injury. He said the night of the Super Bowl and after, it looked like I had fun, but I was miserable. Yeah. And he said after that, I just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah,
I can't blame the guy. I mean, hey.
Yeah, I mean, you put your body through that so much fucking punishment, and he was so big. He was like a fucking freight train running through there, and everybody took pop shots at him, and every time they were hitting him because he's so big, they were giving him everything they had on every hit. Think about like hard fucking hits he had that just like broke little shit.
Yeah,
you know that's what Luck's thing was like. I was tired of getting hurt, and then rehabbing and then getting hurt again. It's like just done with it.
Well, like his last 3 years were just nothing but rehab,
and
then he would come back and he'd play strong for a couple of games, and then the teams would figure it out.
Yeah,
they played the defenses on him. He'd struggle, and then he'd get hurt again. Then he had to come back. I'm like, dude, all power to you for retiring. And then the Colts, I think they said like 300.
He's owed $40 million.
It was a couple $100 million.
He left $40 million on the table.
left it, but they gave him like 24
of the 40.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's when you care for somebody. That's when you're legit. Like,
especially if your owner is Jim Irsay.
Yeah, Jim Irsay let go of Peyton Manning to get Andrew Luck, which I get. Like, Andrew Luck got fucked up.
Man.
Peyton was like, I'm going to go win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, let me go to Denver.
All right. Exactly.
Where they actually have a defense.
And they actually have offensive line.
Hey, that's the big thing.
Yeah, dude, that's why Brady's lasted so long.
That's true.
Invest in the offensive line. And the cool thing about the Patriots' offensive line is every person on that line learns every position.
That's how it should be on offensive line, too. I mean, if you're Tom Brady, your most important side is your left guard.
Mm-hmm.
So if you pay a lot of money to the left guard and everybody on that line can play the same position, you're pretty much protected no matter where they decide to move them.
And you learn exactly what you're supposed to do in that position. That's Bill Belichick, man. He's a fucking, say what you want about him, the dude's a fucking stud. He's
a genius. And then that's why like a lot of your Patriots players leave New England and get these huge contracts, and then they're good. Like I wish, like no other team in the NFL has players that are not like big time, that are just have maybe like they have a not even a household name, but people know who they are, and then they get these decent contracts from these other teams, and then next thing you know, you're like, well, dang, I didn't know he was that good.
Right.
But you play for Bill Belichick, you play for New England. There's certain things that whatever structure they have there is working.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, I think at the end of the day, I still think Brady's a system quarterback, but he's getting it done.
I mean, if your system's under Bill Belichick,
fucking that team in LA this year in the Super Bowl, so I'm cool with that.
Oh, that Super Bowl was so bad.
It's terrible.
It was horrible to watch. I was so mad watching. I was eating more food and drinking more than watching the game.
Dude, it was really
Which should not happen if it's a Super Bowl. You should be able to watch the game and enjoy your time, but I was doing a lot more drinking on this Super Bowl than normal.
Right.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah. So, we spent about 20 minutes on sport. Supposed to be talking about wine and liquor.
Oh, we could jump definitely into that.
Yeah, let's just get into that. That's what we're here for.
Exactly.
So,
as everybody can hear the slurps going.
As we're drinking.
As we're drinking.
What are you drinking on over there? The Kentucky.
This is New Riff. So, I forgot his name. It's quick. Long story short, the guy that made New Riff owned a liquor store.
Mm-hmm.
And in Kentucky, you can't do that. You can't own a liquor store and distill at the same time. So what he did is that he took his liquor store and he sold it to his workers, and he made a fund for the workers that had been there a long period of time. That had it's almost like not a trust fund, but it was kind of like that.
Right.
So his long tenured workers had money going back from the company that he sold it, and gave them look, you guys run it. Here's your guys' funds for how long you guys have been here. It's your company now, so he could go into New Riff. So he made New Riff, which is a 4-year bottled in bond bourbon. At the end of, the fall of last year, it kind of took off.
Mm-hmm.
And it was selling really big in Kentucky. And so, usually when you're doing spirits and you're distilling, you'll do vodka. Vodka is it's the easiest market to get into.
Yeah.
He did bourbon, and then he also made a gin. You can't get this in Missouri.
Really?
Now, you might be able to get it here in the next few months. You might, but as of right now, you can't. And I got this in Illinois, and it's really good for being a micro distillery in the States.
What's the price point?
$27.99, less than $30.
What separates that gin from other gins?
This one is usually what gins are really like. The one thing about gin that people hate is it tastes like pine
Christmas
needles,
trees.
Christmas trees, and everything else. But what people don't understand is that gin can go through three different types of distillation that will allow the flavors to be different. So you have London dry style, and you have almost your American style, but you also have the what is it? You can seep with the gin with the botanicals that you're using.
Yep.
You can just go ahead and
that's what makes the flavor is what you seep it through, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have, let's say you're taking your botanicals and everything else, and you're distilling them, and you're saying, okay, well, I distilled it to what I want, but I want to add more flavor. Well, I want to add more peppercorns. So you seep the peppercorns into the actual distilled liquid already, and then you get more peppercorn flavor in it. That's why a lot of your micro distilleries in the States have like maybe not just one style of gin, but they have like 3 or 4. Like St. George, St. George and Alameda, they do a barrel aged gin, they do a botanivore, and a terroir, and a rye. And the terroir is based on the master distiller at St. George. His parents had a cabin in Northern California by the redwoods.
Yeah.
And every time he was a kid, he'd walk outside and just smell the air. And he pretty much made the terroir gin off of what he would smell as a kid. So it had you had your pine needles, it had your botanicals, it had your lemons, your limes, your orange peels, your peppercorns, and it's so big on the earthy side that most people wouldn't enjoy it. But gin is, and that's why I like gin so much, because you can actually taste the different flavors that go into it. Vodka, you're going to get whatever flavor you want into it based on like orange, lemon if it's flavored. Basic gin is like, okay, do I get headaches from it or not?
Right.
Which is a very small amount of population. And then you also have the ones that say, okay, well, I want something I can make with a martini. Gin, no matter what you do to it, you're going to taste every little part that goes into the actual bottle.
Right.
So it's very distinct, especially for being a clear spirit.
Wow. So a lot of people think that martinis are supposed to be vodka, but they do. And it's the way I understand it, I could be wrong, but originally gin started off as what martinis were. Kind of right?
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Because like if you look back in like the history books, monks and friars were the most drunks on the planet.
Right.
They were the ones that started making beer.
Right.
So they were using back in like the 1800s, 1800s, they're using gin as medicine. So if you had a sore throat, you got gin or Geneva. If you had a temperature or fever, you got Geneva.
Right.
Like gin's been around forever. The only thing that's older than that is mead.
Right, which mead is it's there.
It's an acquired taste. It's one of those ones that either you like it or you hate it.
Right. I'm indifferent. Yeah, I'm just like I could drink it if I needed to.
Exactly.
Right.
If you need to.
I mean, I could drink it if that's all that was there.
Exactly. If I had no other options, I would drink mead. Yeah. Some people, there's some places that make good mead, but I'm not.
Where did gin originate at? It was originated from. I mean, I'm assuming London, like not London, but like Europe.
Well, we'll say Europe because you had a lot of like taxes and tariff laws and everything else that kind of like pretty much it outlawed other spirits and allowed other spirits to come to fruition. I mean,
okay.
There's a lot. There's a what is it? They had a like. All right, if we look at whiskey in the States, whiskey when you're making like your old fashions, your Manhattans, as most people know, is going to be with rye. The reason why rye was used to make whiskey is because corn wasn't readily available. When you hit Prohibition and everything else, corn was a later factor.
Really?
So you look at like Evan Williams.
Yeah.
You look at
Old Forester.
Old Forester.
That's the oldest whiskey distiller in the.
See, that's the thing. I know I have bourbon knowledge based on like what people are looking for now.
Right.
And then what I'm looking for when I'm a customer. But on the history of it, I'm okay in it. I'm not great. I wish I was. I'm better with wine.
Right.
But yeah, like the bourbon stuff, especially now because of the bourbon craze. Most people don't understand that like you can buy bourbon at any point, but the items that you're looking for that are when you go into a store and they say, oh, they're allocated, you're coming into the game late. Yeah. You used to be able to walk into a store and buy Sazerac Rye, Weller 12-year, Antique 107 off the shelf.
Right.
And then there's certain whiskeys, American whiskeys, ryes, and bourbons that don't come to certain states because on the other end of the distillers like, let's put them in other states. Right. This is where the want actually is.
Right.
And if people get mad when it's not here, it's like, well, it's not anybody's fault. It's not the distributor's fault. The distributor is pretty much getting what they are allowing them to have.
Right. So allocation is with a lot of your higher end. Tell me if I'm wrong, but with a lot of your higher end liquors, they allocate so much to an area. So I mean, like they allocate. Oh, we're gonna put 20 bottles of Pappy 10-year, or Pappy 23 or whatever.
Mhm.
You know, they put it in the area, and then the distributors pick and choose who buys it.
Essentially, because in order for when the allocations come out, no company knows what the people at corporate, whether it's a distributor, the wholesaler, or whatever, they know what they're getting. But when it trickles down, they don't know what they're getting. They're constantly or every week. Like you have to do your beer and your liquor orders on Monday and Tuesday. Yeah, it's on the PO. Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes on, it says not on truck. You know exactly why it's not there. You can order it. You can order it, but it's not going to be there.
Be like, oh, sorry, man.
Yeah, and then people come in and it's like, why don't you have it? Well, that's not how it works. It's not that easy. But yeah, you're right on the allocation part. Like they pretty much just dictate like how much is going to be there and available. But what people don't understand is that if you go to a place where there's a huge city, like Chicago, even if you go to Louisville and Kentucky, you can find some of these things on the shelf. It's just that people want the convenience, so they go to their local liquor stores, or they had a bottle at their friend's house, and their friend's been collecting for who knows how long, and they think they can just walk into the store and buy it. It's almost like someone going in and saying, "Hey, I want a bottle of rum. Can I have a rum bar Chardonnay?" It's like $40. Right. Well, I don't want to spend $40. I want something that's going to taste like that in a lot lower price point. And that's, you don't, with bourbon, because of the names, and there's only a legit handful, and five distilleries mainly, but they own everything.
Right.
That
Buffalo Trace is one of the, like, they own it.
That's Heaven Hill.
Heaven Hill, right.
So Heaven Hill owns both. They make Buffalo Trace.
Right.
And then, but was it Buffalo Trace was the #1 bourbon last year. Yeah. And it was a barrel strength. Mm-hmm. I got a bottle from my brother-in-law. Mm-hmm. And some of his friends didn't even have it. I was like, dude, I have friends, but understand that this is like helping you like to build your bourbon bar. Like I could care even as a worker, I don't care about bourbon. I want to be able to drink something that like I can actually enjoy. And my big thing is Scotch and Irish whiskey and wine and cigars. But
and cigars.
Yeah. But bourbon is like it's the new fad.
Yeah. I feel like I think it's switching to tequila, man.
It is because you have your mezcal. Mm-hmm. There's houses down there that have never had any kind of boom, and because like Vita, mm-hmm. Luminar, mm-hmm. Who's the other one? I forgot the name of them, but
Clase Azul.
Okay. I don't know if they may own somebody or they may make one, but I haven't had it yet.
Oh, dude, no, I can tell you they make one.
You're telling me you make one and I haven't had it?
It's $250 for a fucking bottle.
Okay, my bad.
Hey, that bottle's dope as shit, though. That's the one I was telling you about on Saturday.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about the tequilas.
The flat. We can go look at the bottle. We can look at the bottle. It's at a place right down the road here in Soulard that I'm not. No. I'll do the repo and I'll do the platinum.
Right.
And even when I bought the repo of the Clase Azul, I was like, fuck, that's a lot of money. But hey, I've had it for 3 weeks. I just ordered my third bottle, I'm on my third bottle. Mm-hmm. That's just $15 a shot in fucking dirty South City.
And people are buying it. Like, I don't know that much about St. Louis yet because I'm still like moving around. But from what I'm hearing from like you and the other people in that circle, I'm like, some of these places shouldn't have some of these bottles on their bar. There's one bar specifically that has like higher end bottles. I'm not going to name them, but I'm like, does somebody really come in and actually ask for that shot?
Right.
I know they don't.
Exactly, and that's and our thing has been, just to be different. Mm-hmm. Everybody else does the high end bourbons, high end whiskey. I want to be different. We want to be different, so we're doing higher end tequila,
and it's selling.
Yeah. It's not like a bunch of drunks shooting $15 shots, but it's still like, people that love tequila, they come in and they're like, start with one of those. Yeah. They'll start, and sip on it. And like,
right, okay.
Phone, talk to people, sip on their $15 shot. Mm-hmm. And the way it's been selling, I'm like, fuck, I should charge $18.
It's like, hey, that price is not high enough.
Could have charged more, dude. But it's been fun though, and like the wine thing in that area, nobody's carrying high-end wine, but I don't know if it will sell.
But the thing about wine too is that wine is very trendy. It's almost like going to New York for a weekend and seeing what they're wearing, and then coming back to St. Louis.
Yeah.
That's how trendy it is.
Yeah,
and then like what people don't understand too is like wine. There's a guy that owns Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy. Mm-hmm. He owns Veuve Clicquot. He owns Dom Perignon. Mm-hmm. He owns he owns so much stuff. Let's just go with those two for now. Mm-hmm. The fact that you own Dom Perignon and Veuve Clicquot, which Dom Perignon was made from a monk. Mm-hmm. We go back to the monks and the friars.
Right.
He made it and he owns it. He pretty much can send pallets of that to your mom and dad's liquor store, and is gonna make money off of it. He owns a clothing line. Like the guy, that's what I'm saying. Like the guy, when he made his investments, he made them right, and the marketing is what sells wine. It's not necessarily part of it is going to like a friend's house and trying something. You're like, oh, I want to try that. Yeah, big thing, but it's also the fact of like there's commercials of wine on TV now. If you go on Facebook, guess what? There's probably going to be some kind of ad with Louis Vuitton and Moet Hennessy on it, which is Veuve Clicquot with Dom Perignon. So when people come in, it's like, well, the bottle's like $150. It must be good.
Right.
Obviously, because you see it everywhere.
Do you think I think a lot. I could be wrong, but I think a lot of times for me, it's like, oh, they're like style statement. Like, look what I have. I got this $400 bottle of wine. But I can't put gas in my gas tank. But whatever.
No, seriously, like there's. I'll say this much: there are bottles that command that kind of price point, but you have to think of the person. Who are you as a customer?
Right.
Do you have a wine cellar? Do you collect only champagne? Do you collect California wines? Do you collect mailing list cult wines? Do you collect only things from France and Italy? There's a bottle that it's a winery called Bond. Mm-hmm. Their bottles start at $250.
Oh, they get it?
Oh, we sell it.
Does it sell?
It's in Missouri, but that's the thing. If you're not a collector, then you wouldn't know that Bond is actually a really high-end wine. You would not buy it. People hear Screaming Eagle,
yeah, and
then they buy it, but the bottle itself is $2,300 starting a bottle.
Yeah, so like they have a bottle of Screaming Eagle at the Chop House. They have a bottle. It's $10,000.
Mm-hmm. But your market, yeah. But
they bought it for $2,000.
Hey, that's the thing.
They bought it for $2,000. Sell it for $10,000.
Hey, if your margin based on a restaurant, if you bought it for that much, you know someone's gonna come in and buy it because it's gonna be that one guy with that metal card. It's like, you know what? I want
that black metal Amex that's delivered to you with a guy with a handcuff on. You know, right? You know, he's got a briefcase handcuffed to his wrist. He brings it to you. That black metal Amex.
It happens in Vegas all the time. And then we have somebody that comes in and says, hey, I want these wines in the box. And everything's French and Italian. But every bottle goes from like $500 to $2,700 to $3,000. Oh, I want at least 12. Oh, well, sir, can I get you some plastic, bubble wrap for these bottles? Can I carry those to your car?
Yeah. And a lot of people don't know. Like, these people that are wine fanatics, they spend fucking money.
In wine, you have to, though.
Yeah.
You have to. Like, even if you're a collector, you're going to spend it because you're either trying to have a bigger stick than the next guy, or you're just trying to make sure that you're always fully stocked. If you're trying to get into wine and build a palate and understand what it is that you're buying and what you should be getting and not getting and suggesting to people, then you're going to have to spend money because you can't buy, a Super Tuscan from Gaia and then suggest somebody to say, oh, well, you should go ahead and get this Sangiovese Rosso blend that's $10. You can't do that.
Right.
You have to be able to taste different levels of price. And I'll be the first one to say this. There's bottles of wine that people buy now for $200, $300 that they will drink the same night, and the bottle was made to not be open for 10 to 15 years. And then when they come in, it's like, oh, I'm going to open it tonight. I'm like, are you going to get an aerator or a decanter? Like, this thing is not ready to drink yet. Oh, it's 2015. I know that.
Right. I understand.
I know that. But you buy this to sell her. Like I had a guy that asked me about it. He asked me about a high-end bottle, and he's like, Steffen, should I buy this? I was like, what are you going to do? Are you getting it tonight for dinner? Or do you plan on holding on to this? Like, I was thinking about dinner. I was like, don't do it. I said, because if you buy this right now, you're better off buying another bottle because this was not ready to drink yet. It's not made to drink within the next 10 years. And he said, okay, I'm not buying it.
Right. And like, I honestly think that, like, weed is going to be that way soon.
Missouri, you guys have a long way to go.
No. I'm just saying, in general, it's going to eventually get to where, this was grown in, we'll say, Southern Illinois, in the such and such, rich dirt soil of this, and then, like, this was made in Southern Missouri, this was grown in Southern Missouri in the black dirt because it's going to have this type of taste, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. Because, when you get into wine, it's like, I learned a lot watching the documentary of Arizona Stronghold. Yeah, the guy lead singer for Tool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they were talking about how you can taste the minerals in the dirt of knowing that it's an Arizona wine. When your palate gets to that point,
right? You
can taste when your palate's there. You can taste where the grapes were grown that were in this bottle. It's like, fuck you.
like my girl's like, I went a bottle the other night and she was like, what did it taste like? I was like, well, it tasted like a dirty martini. I was like, I would have loved it. It was super dry and it tasted like a touch of olive juice in your martini. He's like, I wouldn't have liked it at all. I was like, yeah, no.
Right.
And like no, seriously, like, because my specialty is old world. So France, Spain, Italy,
right,
Germany. That's where I thrive. Right. But the flavors from a California cab is different from Washington. It's different from a cab heavy wine from France on the right bank. Like, all that tastes different. But that's why when I go home, I can sit there and I can open up a bottle and I can drink it in peace. Like, I don't have to worry about somebody that's like, what do you really get? I was like, if I explain to you what I'm tasting, you probably wouldn't understand it.
Right.
And that's why, like, even when I was going through my level 2, I was going to marketplaces. Like, I was going through in the public places, like, picking up fruits and vegetables and smelling them and everything else. And everybody was, some people were looking at me like, what are you doing? I was like, you gotta understand, I can't tell someone that bramble smells like, this wine smells like bramble without smelling it. I can't tell people that something smells like a black cherry or a red cherry without actually having it. Is it ripe or unripe? Is it Granny Smith apple? Is it Washington apple? Is it Fuji? You have to be able to try these things and taste them and smell them in order to understand that. And you build your palate based on what you eat and what you smell. But 90% of people don't. They just drink or they just eat. They don't understand how seasonings work. They don't understand how temperatures work. They don't understand why you would put a risotto probably with like a fish and something like that, or you would sear a tuna and those kind of things. Steaks are well done, with fat, without fat. What kind of cut are you getting?
Right.
There's so many things that go into wine, and wine is such a huge spectrum. It's intimidating.
Right.
So that's why people will buy like their $10, $10 bottle. I got a $5 bottle of Chardonnay that I will drink on a regular basis. I do. And then people was like, well, I came to Missouri with 5 cases of wine. I came here with 5 cases of wine. I have a 2007 Atlas P cab that is probably still age-worthy, and it's not ready to drink yet. You see what I'm saying? I got a Brunello 2012 that's nowhere near ready yet. But I invested myself in wine and food. But I understand that I'm patient. Things take time. I can't open up certain things and then enjoy them. If you come over and I open a bottle of wine and you actually like wine, you might have something you would never had before. Right. But understand that, one, you're at my place.
Moscato?
Oh, yeah. Got Moscato d'Asti, that bubbly.
That's what's so funny. Like people, they I like wine. Oh, do you? Because I just saw you buy a $10 bottle of Moscato.
And that's the thing, is like, you see it and you're like, okay, you know what? I know I can't say anything. You know what's crazy? I've replaced 2 Psalms in 2 different states because they would tell customers that your wine is a bad choice and da-da-da-da-da. And you can't, no matter what industry you work in, I don't care if you're in insurance, you cannot tell people that it's not good for them. they have to be the ones to find that.
Oh yeah, that's shit wine. Like, why would you?
Right,
They're
dude.
spending money.
There's a couple labels I would never buy, and if it came into my place and it was sitting on the table, take it back.
Right.
I don't want it. But wine's trendy.
It is. Have you seen Gary V's wine?
Who's?
Empathy. Gary Vaynerchuk.
I have not.
So Gary Vaynerchuk, I talk about him all the time on the podcast, but he owned Wine Library TV.
Okay.
On YouTube. He's one of the first people to talk about, just to be on YouTube, first off. But he just came up with a wine. So he took his dad's liquor store because he focused on wine. He took it from $3 million a year to $60 million a year.
I remember the story about him. I see him all the time on Instagram. He was good friends with Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
That was one of his good friends. They were tight.
Yeah. And he's not, I mean, no doubt that your palate is better than his, but like he can sell some fucking wine. He's got a new wine out. It's called Empathy. So he's trying to build his dad's wine business from it's been at 60 to he's trying to build it to 100. Like he's trying to help him, but he has all this other shit he's doing. That's one dude that like I base my hustle on his, and like I'm trying to catch up with him. You know, the dude's always on the go. He I haven't had the Empathy yet, but yeah.
No, look, guess what I'm looking for now?
Empathy.
I'll find it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at finding things. I will find it.
No, he's doing things all the time where like, buy 3 cases of my wine and you'll get a 5-minute FaceTime with me, blah, blah, blah. You know, he sells it. And it's, I haven't had it yet, but I'm going to get a bottle.
I feel like we'll probably, if we do any future podcasts, I want to make sure that we'll bring a bottle. Because I already drank the one that I brought.
That one's already gone.
It was a Vino Verde, man. Like, it's supposed to be gone.
Yeah. How much was that one?
$9-10. But the one thing about Vino Verde is that it's not an actual. Usually, you see like Cab and Merlot in a bottle of wine. It's not the actual grape. It's a region, and it's in Portugal. So when you see, this means nothing to anybody but me. But when you see a bottle that looks like this,
right,
it looks like a Sauvignon Blanc bottle. Okay, really slender and tall.
Right.
Usually with your Vino Verdes, they're in that kind of bottle because they can actually put carbon dioxide. You use carbon dioxide, and it comes from making alcohol anyway. It used to be thought that the actual grapes that were used for Vino Verde were giving off the effervescence, but the effervescence is coming from the carbon dioxide itself. So there's Vino Verdes you can get in Portugal that don't have like the bubbly feeling, and this bottle has, when you drink champagne, prosecco, whatever, it has the effervescence of it, but it doesn't have the body.
Okay.
So this one is
by body. What do you mean by body?
Body is more or less like is it light? Is it medium? Is it heavy? It's almost like drinking like a Pinot Noir compared to a Cab. Okay. But this one is 9% alcohol. It's a white wine. It has bubbles with it, but it's not sparkling. It's not champagne. It's not prosecco. It's a still wine with an effervescence to it.
Okay. So one thing that I know people that are going to be listening will want to know, when you talk about aged wine, how long it's aged? 2015. Is that how long the grape is kept? Is that what it, or is it the juice you make from the grape?
It's the harvest.
The harvest. Okay.
So whenever you see a vintage on a bottle of wine, it means that that's when the grapes are actually harvested off the vine. Okay. Now, when it comes to the aging process, there's no laws in the States that say that a cab has to be aged in oak for this long. Because you have to remember, too, that some of these wineries are using, French oak, American oak, straight white oak.
So they go that far into depth where the what the barrel is made of matters.
Let's put it on my end. In certain wines, yes. Right. For certain other people that have the certifications that I don't have at the moment, right, they will preach that it is. But American oak tastes different than French white oak because American oak imparts more flavors. So, like if you're on a grid, and let's say we're talking about like whiskey, bourbon. Bourbon's made from at least 51% corn
Right.
at the minimum. When you're tasting corn, it's sweet.
Mm-hmm.
You get vanilla. Well, vanilla comes from oak, but you get the sweetness from the corn.
Right.
When you're looking at oak can impart like oaky flavors. You can impart vanilla. It can like spices, whether it be sweet or it could be like not hot, but like more I don't know what I'm looking for. Let's just say like between sweet and spicy.
Right.
Think of like rye.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When you're looking at oak for wine, if I have a wine, a Chardonnay, and I want to put American oak with it, it's going to impart buttery flavors, vanilla flavors, creamy flavors, because that's what our American oak is known for.
Right.
But if I do French oak is going to be very neutral when it comes to the nose, but on the flavor is going to be extremely clean. And that's where you find people that are looking for like those, histamine-free, sulfite-free, which is not possible at the moment. We're working on it. But they're looking for those wines because they either don't want the creaminess, they don't want the butteriness, they don't want those imparted flavors because it's just not what they're looking for. And those clean flavors come from old world like Italy, France, and Spain because they don't impart anything outside of what the grape is coming from the vine. In the States, we have laws that regulate what we can and can't do. But when it comes to old world, those laws have been in place for hundreds of years. They don't go outside of that.
So you went down a hole right there. I loved it. I mean, that's showing knowledge right there. The funny thing about the wine industry is like, no matter how nerdy you are about it, no matter what you do with it, no matter how far you go down that line with wine,
mm-hmm.
It's always getting different. It's always going to be different.
Very trendy.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you see it. Like, some people will come in and buy a certain bottle of wine for like a year or two. And then the new crave comes in, then they end up buying a case of that one.
Right.
And those are the ones that, like, they like wine and they enjoy wine, but they don't understand their own palates. And wine is, depending on how deep you go into it, you need to understand your palate before you try to go into other things of wine. It's like the same person that comes in and buys, the same bottle every single day.
Right.
You suggest like a French wine or something else to them.
Like,
they might try it.
Whoa.
They'll try it, but then they'll say, "Oh, I'm going to go back to this bottle." A lot of people just aren't very experimentative, and they like to have their everyday bottle, which is nothing wrong with that. But the people that want to try other things, they understand like, oh, well, France, California, Washington tastes completely different. They're growing some of these wines over in Texas and in North and South Carolina that we can't grow in Missouri, but you guys have the Northern grape, which saved
right.
the whole wine industry, and that's why we have some of these other, high-end wines that are not here. They're all in California and other places.
And that's what people don't understand is that you can go so far in a depth with wine that it you can't be balling on a budget and fucking wine.
You can't. If you're with somebody that actually knows wine, they will tell you, look, I know that's really good, and I know they want that, but this one tastes probably better, and it's a lower price point.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta remember, the one thing that people don't understand is that wine is huge on marketing,
mm-hmm.
and it's very trendy.
We have one upstairs is Machete.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
mm-hmm.
And that's all marketing. Like, you see the pictures on the bottle, it's like, okay.
True, but the Papillon is by far my favorite. Like, if you ever make it to the winery, he does Orange Swift.
Where's the winery at?
The winery is in, it's not over, St. Helena, sorry. So it's north of Napa. So okay. If you go on, specifically, Silverado Road, you'll pass Mum Napa, Frank Family, and you'll bump into St. Helena. You got to cross over to the highway. But when you get to Orange Swift, he has a cab port. It's awesome. And then he also does a rosé that it's gone up in alcohol every other year. But it's like, okay, normal rosés are between like maybe 11 to 13. Mm-hmm. Orange Swift is done. He's known for doing high alcohol wines.
Is that Machete's Orange Swift?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
He does a rosé that is between
Google
15 to
Machete
17% alcohol.
Wow.
And when I tell you that it's worth, it's actually worth it. When I was living in California, I bought one every single year, and it's awesome.
The pictures on the front are what sell that fucking wine. I mean, his wine sells, but like it's the shit's cool. Like it's cool. It's like the chick with the machete that's on the front of an old Cadillac or something like that. I think
He's got that one. The Papillon is he's got hands that spell out Papillon on his fingers. He's got Abstract Papillon Palermo. He does a Pinot Noir called
Pinot Noir. I got it.
Sauvignon Blancs.
Merlot.
Cabernet Sauvignon.
And that's what's so crazy. Wine, even beer now, man. Like it's all
beer's insane. Like you can't. God forbid someone comes in. Like I had someone ask me about Pliny the Elder. I'm like, you can't get it in Missouri.
Right.
How can I get it? Do you have a friend that lives in the Bay Area? No. Well, are you going to fly to the Bay Area? No. Well, then you cannot get it.
Right. But even like Leinenkugel, or not Leinenkugels, but
wait for it.
East Coast.
Damn it! You can get it in Kentucky.
The beer, yeah, you can get it.
There's a brewery that made a beer. Oh man, what is it called?
I'll think of it in a minute.
And what's bad is that we both know exactly what it is. Yingling.
Whew! Thank God. Yingling, you can't get it east of the Mississippi or west of the Mississippi. Was it east of the Mississippi? No, west
Kentucky.
of the Mississippi. West of the Mississippi, you can't get it.
You can't get it, but you can't get it, and you can't get it outside of Kentucky.
Hey, you can. It's the East Coast, so you can get it. First time I ever had it was in Georgia, in Savannah, Georgia.
I'm pretty sure the state line probably like cuts outside of Georgia, doesn't it?
I don't know. I know you can't get it west of the Mississippi. So
we'll go with that.
Yeah.
We'll go with that. My bad. We talked about wine. I got specific. I apologize.
Yeah.
But every time I go to Louisville, I always try to bring back some tall cans. I can't do bottles.
No.
Tall cans.
No.
Tall cans.
No. To me, it's not even. It's cool. Super sweet.
But it's a. Think about it. It's a good domestic style beer that people cannot get.
Yeah.
And that's what alcohol is built on.
Mm-hmm.
I want it. I want Elmer T. Lee. I want Weller 12 year. I want Weller Antique 107.
I want Pappy 23 year. Like in Pappy 23 year.
My brother
isn't that great?
Anything. That's the thing about whiskey in general. Anything that's outside of actually bourbon. Anything that's outside of like 12 years, you're taking a chance on. Because, you'll have the prestige that you actually have it, but does it taste what you're looking for?
Right.
And it's with bourbon, because we're Americans, bourbon is built on the name. The flavor it's probably really good. I haven't had anything past a Pappy 12. I haven't.
Right. Dude, anytime my dumbass, can sell an empty bottle of Pappy 23 year, an empty bottle, with the bag on the front of it for $100, an empty bottle.
It's a sale.
I'm like, I didn't have to pay anything for the bottle, but I sold it for $100. Like, I'm like, oh shit, this must be fucking amazing.
That's a win,
right? It's a win, and I think that like, supposedly down in Nashville, they have this thing. Anytime they sell a full bottle of Pappy, no matter what year it is, it's a big fucking thing. Like everybody's like
it's
cheering. Whole party, and they just throw the bottle on the fucking ground and break it.
Rude.
Well, they do it. They do that so no one gets a bottle of Pappy and then fucking fills it with other bourbon.
Oh.
That's why they do that. Like it's like a badge of honor. Like even you like get to do that. And I'm all like, fuck you. I bought. Okay, so third bottle of Class A Zool, right? The two other bottles I sold online for $25.
Right,
empty bottles.
Yeah, empty.
$25.
You give me money.
Yeah. So what people, those motherfuckers that are breaking those bottles. If I'm the owner, I'm like, hey, motherfuckers, like chill the fuck out.
Don't step on those.
So that took my $89 I spent for one bottle of Class A Zool. It takes it down by $25.
It's like driving a car off the lot.
Yeah. It stopped the cost. I mean, it cut the cost down by $25. Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, yeah, I get the bar industry to me. When you get into mixology and then like people like me, that's Colorado Bobs, where it's all like having fun, getting drinks out, speed bartending, that type of shit. There's such a disconnect between that level and then these mixologists that are like, like, oh, I've got this. For instance, I met a guy who's from Austin, Texas.
Okay. Very huge sommelier, like vested area in Texas.
That's where my homies. That's the level past level 3, whatever that is, at Master Som. Yeah, he got his Master Som, and he got a job, and they're based out of Austin. So like, he's making a fuck ton of money doing it. But the guy, he owns a bar. I want to give him a shout out, but I cannot remember the name of the bar. But he owns it, and he was talking about, I had to own the bar for probably 12 days. And I met this guy. He's like, oh, I came here because I looked up the best dive bar in St. Louis, and I'm in town. I came here, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that's awesome. We ended up hanging out for 7 hours. I was driving around St. Louis. I was driving through Soulard, and he had an Airbnb down in Soulard, and but he was telling me, he's like, yeah, man, like, really big mixology. Like, I have my signature cocktails, because they take too long to make. He's like, I have them kegged up.
That's smart.
And then run them off tap. So he was like, so I have the pressure set to this on some, but then I have the carbonation set on this on some. And I'm like,
stop.
What? I'm like, what? I'm just like, huh? And he's like, looking at me like, how long have you been in the industry? I was like, 16 years, man. I've never seen shit like that.
But you gotta remember, like, when you're in a big city,
yeah,
you're gonna have your speakeasies and all that stuff, and those are called for. Like, if you order a drink, you're supposed to sit there for like 5 to 10 minutes and wait for them to bring the drink over. And a place like this, where St. Louis is known for, like,
I would say Planter's House. I'll give them a shout out. Of all places, Planter's House. Have you been there yet?
Oh, yes. Went there. They have Sunday chicken. Oh, was it chicken dinners or something like that? Or chicken lunch? Chicken brunch?
I doubt it. The guy that runs it worked for Gerard.
Oh, I might be thinking of a different place.
He worked for Gerard Craft for like 15 years. That dude, Ted, the guy that owns that, they're like, oh, he's the most popular bartender and the best bartender in St. Louis. I'm all like, hold on. He's the best male mixologist in St. Louis. But let me hold.
There's a difference between mixology and bartending.
Well, yeah, obviously. But, I mean, they're both the same. There's different, like, it's like the AL and NL.
Mixology takes time.
Yeah.
Bartending, you're trying to make sure that everyone gets served, and you're able to handle more people at once. Mixology, you're there because your cocktails taste awesome.
Yeah, and I love that shit.
Mm-hmm. And I'm with it. I love mixology.
I love it. Do I want to buy a bunch of at least $10 cocktails? Sometimes.
Actually, me and my girl actually went there. Yeah, we went there and they had a pork belly dinner. They had a pork belly entree.
No shit.
Awesome. Okay. Now,
I've never eaten there. I've only had drinks there.
That's the thing. Like, I ended up having a very rich dinner, so my stomach did not agree with me later. But the food was awesome. But I can't get mad at if you have a whole drink menu and everything's copyrighted and trademarked.
Right.
I'm okay with that.
And like, for me, it's like, for me, because the people I'm around, they don't appreciate it. But I didn't either until I
ventured out.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I think that's what separated me from everybody else. Going into Bob's, it's like, we are going, once all the renovations are done, we're going to be, I call it a new age dive bar. Like, I want to have a nice old fashioned that you can drink. I want to have It's an unusual margarita, which is basically like the mezcal with the infused like jalapeno margarita mix that I squeezed from fresh limes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to get to that. And will it work? I don't know. If it doesn't work, no big deal.
Hey, but that's the thing. You build your brand, but you also understand when you're building your brand, you fail fast.
Oh, yeah. You always fail forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That's just like Class A Zool. Like, I didn't know if it was going to sell. I didn't know.
Mm-hmm. And look, you're on your third bottle.
Yeah. In 3 weeks. I want a third bottle in 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Like, that shit's like, you know, I get why the first bottle went.
Mm-hmm.
The first bottle was like, $15 fucking shot. Oh, let me try it. And
yeah, I'm on my Tinder date tonight. What's happening?
It's not even that. It was like these old dudes that like tequila. They're like, oh, I need to taste what a $15 shot of fucking tequila is. And
but at that age, though, you really have to taste that? You should have at least tried it by that point.
Well, yeah, but they never got out of South City.
Oh, yeah. It is St. Louis.
So, yeah, I mean, but not talking shit about St. Louis. But, yeah, they, every person that has drank it has been like, holy shit.
Well, Clase Azul is actually, it's good.
It's really fucking good.
If you're going to spend the money for a tequila, Clase Azul is one of the ones you would want to spend your money on.
Because, and then you know, especially when you're buying it, if you're spending, you know, I mean, you know that, I don't know if people know this or not, but retail on liquor is not that different from what we pay as bar owners.
True.
A lot of people don't know
that. Depending, I don't know what the Missouri side of the liquor and everything else.
It's still right on.
Because in California, you have to have liters.
Mm-hmm.
In Missouri, I don't know what it is out here. I have no idea.
So, like, a bottle of real vodka cost me, fuck it, I don't care, $4.72.
But do you get it, like, if they say you buy a case, you get like 6 bottles of this flavor for free or whatever?
When you make deals, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, special events and shit, yeah. When they're trying to get something new in, yeah.
Yeah.
But
the basic commission stuff.
Yeah. But like if you're just buying, like a bottle of Class A Azul is costing me $89. You go to Randall's, it's going to cost you $89. Well, no, it's going to cost you like, no, actually, I don't think there's any markup on those. Like the high end shit, I don't think there's big of a markup.
Depends on where you go, probably.
Right, true. I'll give you that.
Depends on where you go.
Yeah. But then like you know, my rail is cheap as shit, and so like I'm paying $4.75, charging $3. Like, yeah, 2 drinks paid for that bottle.
Exactly, pretty much.
And you know, like, was it 24 drinks you get out of a bottle usually?
Of a liter?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I base mine on 22, just because of, you know, loss, overpours, whatever. You know, I probably should lower it to 18, but you know, I have a dream. Man. We're close.
We are building it. We're building a brand. We're getting there.
Right. And it's funny how like people that come into the bar, you know, people I know, and they're just like, you know, like last night, one of my homies I've known for years, just like walks down his tab like he's supposed to get it for free. It's like, motherfucker. I texted him. I was like, hey, motherfucker, dude, your tab was $30. He's like, I'll get you next time. I'm like, fuck you, dude. Like, why are you gonna do that to me? Well, you know, man, I'm your homie. I'm like, I still have to pay.
Like the things I have to pay for it.
I have to pay to get this liquor in, bro.
But
it's not free.
True, but that's the thing. Like when you are a bartender or a bar manager or you own the place, you have friends that will come there and understand that you're running a business. Mm-hmm. You have friends that will come there looking for the handout.
Yeah.
And the friends that look for the handout are the ones that always come in and it's like, hey, I brought like 3 people with me. They'll run up a tab once every 6 months, and then it will tip you, which you're supposed to get tipped that one time, and then they will barely tip you every other time they come in.
Yeah, and it's like the best people that come in are somebody that's gonna be on the show another time. But you know, he comes in and like I tried to buy him a shot the other night, and it was like he wanted fucking fireball, fucking fireball. I was like, fuck
Let me
you,
get that
dude.
antifreeze.
Exactly. I was like, I'll buy you a shot. And then, so I got my shot, which is Espolón. It's my favorite tequila right now. Price point wise.
I got a bottle of the silver at home.
It's so good. I love it. Yeah, you're buying it at 26, we'll say. Still at $5 a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so making money on that. That shit is so hot right now. I'm ordering 2 cases a week of that.
Wow.
Out of my little place, 2 cases a week. But case is 6 for them.
Well, hey, he's ordering 2 cases a week, but he has hibachi on the weekends.
Not anymore. He just quit yesterday. No. But wait, there's more. It was great. Don't get me wrong. He decided that he wanted to do something else with his business, which is fine. That's totally cool. I'm okay with it. I've known the dude for years. We just couldn't see eye to eye on some stuff, which is fine. I'm not mad at him. I wish him nothing but the best. But now we're gonna have some dope ass fucking barbecue in there. So,
hey, I like barbecue, especially with beer.
Yeah. So, we'll go through a transitional thing.
Mm-hmm.
People come in there expecting hibachi, and it's not there. And you know what? It sucks that it didn't work out because I love the dude. I love what he can do. We just could not.
Couldn't come to terms.
We had the terms. It just. I'm. Impatience is what I'm going to say. Impatience.
I get that.
Yeah, impatience.
Especially you get that a lot. Not to cut you off.
No, you're good.
You get that a lot, especially with like the generation that we're dealing with now. Like between hiring and then like keeping people on, a lot of the younger generation wants to have it now. I want that, manager position. I want to be this. I want to be the GM. I want all of that. But do you have the experience for it? Well, I was over a couple of people over in my department. Well, you don't have the experience for it, so how can I give you that job? Everybody wants everything so fast and so now, and the experience is just not there. And it's not even just in the restaurant, bar, retail industry. It's based on just like people coming out of. It used to be just people coming out of college and just making money as a bartender or whatever, and like, you know what, I'm just stay doing this. Now you have people that are not even going for the degrees, going into jobs. Well, I've been here for 6 months. I should get a raise or I should get a promotion. No, you had.
No, you haven't earned that.
You haven't. So how can you come to me and say that you deserve this?
Because
it makes absolutely no sense. I understand where they're coming from because I was there. I know you've been there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm doing all these. I'm slinging all these drinks. I'm making this kind of money. I should be doing this. I get that. But can you handle inventory? Can you handle vendors? Can you bring in new items? Can you make new cocktails? Can you do a seasonal menu? Can you have people coming in asking for you as their bartender every single weekend? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that go into that whole kind of like not class, but that area. And everybody doesn't understand that because a lot of people don't want to work for it now.
Right. And the biggest thing I deal with is I have somebody working for me that like won't even send out a Snapchat to people that let them know that they are working. And I'm all like, look, you're piggybacking off of my social media because I send my shit out.
Mm-hmm.
At least show me an effort.
Sure.
At least show me an effort that you're trying.
I don't have a Snapchat. I don't send anything out.
Right. Well, it's different. You're not bartending right now.
True, I'm not. Trust me, there's plenty of times I wish I was back in restaurants. I'm like, oh man, I miss so much. But I digress. There's reasons why I'm not in the industry, but it is what it is.
It's not even like Snapchat is the best hand-to-hand combat right now.
With locations and everything else, yes.
Yeah, well, I'm saying like they can see who's working on the map. They can see, but then also you can send somebody a direct snap like, oh hey, I'm here working,
Come here.
And then they're gonna have to pop the notification on their phone. It's gonna show up on their phone. They're gonna see the notification. Like, oh, let me look at this, and then like, it's the best way. It's so great. It's so great, for and it doesn't cost you anything.
True, it's free marketing.
Yeah,
it's free marketing.
Let's say you send it to 40 people. You get 10 people that open it up, and you get 7 of them that come in.
Dude.
At $10 a piece, that's another $70 you just rang.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say that they all tip you $10. That's another $70 that you made that day.
In your pocket.
In your pocket. So that's why I'm having the hardest struggle with this person that just won't post on their social. I'm not asking you to post every day.
Mm-hmm.
But if you could just, I mean, it doesn't have to be on your Facebook. It doesn't have to be on your Instagram. I know you think you're going to be Instagram famous, which is cool.
Right.
But just snap the shit out. Just send it out. Send it out to help me help you.
Help me help you.
Right.
And my Kevin Hart
help me help you. That's not Kevin Hart.
Oh, which one? His last stand up.
No, that's Tom
Cruise.
His
last one too.
That's Tom Cruise and Jerry Maguire.
Okay, I'm thinking
help me help you with Cuba Gooding Jr.
Sorry, I'm thinking of the black version.
Cuba Gooding Jr. is black, believe it or not.
Are you sure? He was in handcuffs 3 weeks ago.
What?
Oh, you didn't know?
No.
Oh yeah, he was in handcuffs a couple of weeks ago. He had 5-0 right behind him.
For what?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't remember what, but it was not good. When you're a celebrity and you're in handcuffs, it's not for show.
Anymore,
it wasn't a movie. It was not a movie. You were not getting paid to be in handcuffs.
Right. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe you should consider doing a podcast talking to people about wine and shit.
Wine and shit.
I'm joking. I don't mean wine and shit, but it's funny that I say wine and shit. But like, maybe consider it. Like, consider. You know, start with one a week and breaking down wine and whiskey to people that don't know no better, and maybe just increasing knowledge. You know.
That's the thing. I'm always down for. I mean, because I teach wine, spirits classes, and all that stuff too. So I'm always down for it. It's just one of those things that, because my schedule is so like up and down, it's dedicating the time. Because one, I don't have the equipment for it. 2, it's trying to find people that will.
I know a guy that has the equipment for it. I know a guy. It's me. I'm the guy.
Well, thank you. But then it's also trying to like. It's.
How about if you record it? If you want to come in, bring people in, like talk to. You know what I'd love to hear? I'd love to hear a podcast between you and maybe somebody that's a level 3 that you're trying to get to.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you guys talking about wine, him talking about that, or meeting with a cicerone. You know, for people that don't know, a cicerone is a beer, basically a sommelier version of beer, right?
Yes.
You know, I know a cicerone. He's only level 1, but he's still a cicerone. But like, you know, that type of shit, talking about the high end type booze, beer, wine. You know, talking about this stuff. I think there's a lot of there's a market there for that.
I think in like for what this is, because this is the first time we're actually doing it. Why not have a wine guy, a beer guy, and a manager guy all in the same room? And you just go ahead and just not ramble. I was like, okay, so what's big in the market right now?
Yeah.
What are you looking for? And just have all of us in the room, just like, you know what? We all drink for a living,
right?
And we're really good at what we do. Why not just bring us all together?
Yeah,
and just go.
We can.
I'm down.
We got to get a 4th mic, but we only got 3 mics right now.
We only got 3. That's all we need right now. That's all we need.
I need people to go to buyjack.com/the Soulardians and buy some merchandise so we can buy a 4th mic.
I mean, because in this industry, you can't be in this industry and not enjoy what you do.
Yeah.
I can't enjoy what I do for a living and not drink wine and everything else. I can't have you as a bar manager and owner not enjoy the liquor industry and then not enjoy what you drink on the side. We can't have a guy that actually, I know a few people that do, and they know more how they're bourbon connoisseurs. I just know about the stuff. they can actually break things down and actually say, you know what? These are things. These are what you should look for from this distillery, and this is why. Like shot in the dark. There's a Amity Lee, sour mash, bourbon. Everybody's looking for it. I will tell you right now, you can find it, but the odds of you finding it in your immediate chain liquor stores, even your smaller ones, are very tough to come by.
Right.
There's other ways to go about it, but you have to be willing to go outside of your comfort zone to find that. You can find E.H. Taylor, you can find Weller, you can find not Jefferson's. What's another one's in there? I don't remember. It's so much bourbon. Oh, we'll just throw like Heaven Hill 6-year, the 100 proof bottled in bond, not the 80 proof that they're putting out now. You have a lot of ways to find these bottles, but you have to understand where you live. Mm-hmm. You're not going to find some of these things in certain states. Mm-hmm. You're not going to find them in every state.
Right.
You can find them in other places, but you have to be willing to either have a friend that lives there or to actually go and do these whiskey lotteries. Actually go and go to these distilleries and ask questions. You'll be surprised what you will find out by asking a simple question like, can I get this? Yes or no. Why? They will not disclaim, they will not tell you everything, but they will give you a general idea of why you cannot get them, and they will at least let you know, if you're really looking for it, this is where you can probably go to get it. But there's a lot of people that don't want to search. They would rather, it's convenience.
So people just want the nicest shit and don't want to have to search for it.
Exactly. It's almost like going like, okay, well, I want to have this $300 bottle of wine. Uh-huh. Awesome. But you can't get it here in Missouri. But the winery will send it to you. Well, you can't get it for me. But unfortunately, the distributor that we go through doesn't get it from the wholesaler that gets it. It's a 3-tier system. And most people don't understand that. And if they understood that part, there's a lot of questions as a bar manager and even as working and selling alcohol and spirits that people would understand, but because they don't understand the 3-tier system and how we're at the mercy of the wholesaler and the distributor of the state, that we can't get everything.
Do you think it's a good job being a distributor for the state for something like Pappy's? Or you like I'm going to trickle this down on everybody else? I decide.
It's fun for them. It has to be. It's got to be fun. Right. Like, I can't sit here and say that I would not want to be that guy. Because I would love to say, you know what? I know you asked for 3 cases. Here's a bottle and a half. I would love to be that guy.
But then you look at somewhere like 801. It's like that Pappy's 23-year was selling for between $150 and $200 an ounce.
Yeah, but most people
paid $100 for that fucking bottle.
Yeah, but they're not. Most people are going to go for that. They're not. Here's the difference. There's people that will spend the money to have the bottle in their collection. Mm-hmm. There's other people that are going to buy the bottle to flip it, which are the people that, no matter if you're in any kind of part of the industry, you don't want to actually have to sell to them because all they're going to do is just take the bottle. If I'm going to ask you for a bottle of Belvedere, and it's my favorite bottle on the planet.
Oh, Belvedere is the shit.
If I'm going to ask for it, I'm going to drink it.
Right.
For the simple fact, I love Belvedere. Now, personally, I really don't, but if I'm acting like the person that wants it.
It's my favorite. Seriously. That shit, I could drink 2 bottles in one night. I wake up the next day, I'm like, I'm ready to go.
Oh, is that a challenge accepted? Challenge accepted.
That shit is that clean, man. Like, so if people don't know, the more a vodka is distilled, the less of a hangover you have. And so you take someone like Tito's. Tito's just took it up to 10 times distill. I could be wrong.
That I don't know,
but it's between 6 and 10. It used to be 6, and I think it's 10 now. But then you take somewhere like Belvedere, it's distilled 23 times, I believe. And like Kettle One is like
spicy.
Kettle One.
But I like Kettle One.
Kettle One, I actually have a bottle right here right now.
Yeah,
so
read the label.
It is handcrafted small batches using traditional recipes from Nolte Distributing in Holland, founded in 1691. Holy shit.
Yeah, very old. And then they started putting out commercials not too long ago. A couple years.
They don't say how many times it's distilled.
It's Kettle One. They don't have to.
It's got the whole lineage of the distillers of the vodka.
I wish I would have been a distiller.
Yeah.
Oh well. I went into wine.
So if anybody knows how many times Kettle One is, I've never woke up with a hangover from Kettle One. I will say that.
Kettle One's good. I like it because it's on the spicy note.
Yeah.
So kind of for me, it kind of wakes me up if I drink vodka. I do not drink vodka at all, unless it's a Bloody Mary.
Right. Dude, the best Bloody Mary mix I've ever had. Do you like dill pickles? Or dill pickle?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So McClure's out of Detroit. They're a pickle manufacturer. They make jars of pickles, but then they started making Bloody Mary mix.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, this shit's so fucking fire.
Why are you whispering?
Because I kind of want everybody to know about it, but then it's I want to.
He doesn't want anybody but me to know.
I kind of want it just to be a Bob thing. Yeah, I'm trying to find where I can buy it.
Where can I get it?
Right, it's expensive.
What's it called?
McClure's.
McClure's.
Actually, I can make you a Bloody Mary with it. I have 2 jars upstairs because they bottle it in fucking pickle jars.
Sir.
Yeah.
Are there tacos involved? Because it is Taco Tuesday.
I mean, Taco Tuesday where?
Everywhere. Don't threaten me with a good time.
All right. I'm like, oh, tacos? I kind of want some tacos now.
Hey.
Way to go, Steffen. Thank you.
Oh, you were a goddamn worker.
So, yeah, we're at hour 36. Let's just wrap this thing up.
I'm down.
Steffen, can people find you? Do you want to put out socials? I
really don't, but I will say this much. I do have an Instagram page that is called Suave Sommelier. You can follow me on there.
Spell it out?
Oh. Well, I have to look at it now because I can't just tell you verbatim that it's actually going to spell the way I think it's going to be spelled. But, if you're, well, actually, nobody knows me, so this is awesome. But,
there's only 9 people that would listen to this, so it's fine.
Don't be negative.
I'm not being negative.
So, it's Suave Sommelier, SuaveSommelier. I haven't posted. It is, but my cousin actually picked out the tag name, so I was trying to work on an extra Instagram page for just wine, spirits, cigars, and everything else. And then he came and was like, "Why don't you just call yourself Suave Sommelier?" I'm like, "That's an awesome idea," because it wasn't even taken. So
because it's a fucking huge fucking Instagram name.
I don't care. If you really want to follow me, then you will type those letters in.
Fair enough.
But
does your girlfriend even follow you on Instagram?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, shut up, Cecil.
I know. I can see her being like, "Babe, I love you," but it's so much typing.
It's so much work. I know it is, but I mean, it is what it is. I do alcohol for a living. We're both foodies.
Oh, dude. You guys work, man, and it's awesome, man. I'm so happy that you're here now with her. Like, for you guys that don't know, I've known his girl for longer than I've known him. She's actually been on Darian's podcast.
Mm-hmm.
She actually told me on Saturday, she was like, "Steffen's coming on your podcast before I am." I'm like,
oh man,
yeah.
I'm about to ride this one out. Trust me. It's like, yeah, guess what I did?
Yeah. I was like, yeah, we're going to talk about booze. Like, why wouldn't I have one?
Yeah.
She's like, but I want to be on your podcast. I was like,
it's okay. I've been here 1 year and I've been on a podcast. I'm okay with that. But it's with Cecil. So, feel some type of way.
It's so funny because, like, before I knew who you were, I knew you guys were dating, and it was like, she talked about you, and then I met you or whatever, you know, and then, like, she was like, wait, I was part of, she's like, I'm part of the gaggle. I was like, I know, but Steffen's super cool, and, like, he knows about booze, and you don't, and she's like, gave me these, like, puppy dog eyes. I'm all like, don't make me feel bad right now.
That's the thing, like, for all those that are listening, like, I was really the ghost. Like, the only person that ever saw me was Laura and her. Oh, I dropped the name.
It's alright. She's already been on a podcast, so it doesn't matter. Not on mine, but like on D's. So, I mean, Marcus. We're good.
Okay, whatever. So Laura and her mom were the only ones that saw me, and Laura knew. She's known my family for so long. So like when it actually happened, it actually was coming. I was moving back here.
Yeah.
It's like, oh well, this mystery guy that we've been hearing so much about that she's with, we're actually gonna see him and meet him. And I'm not gonna lie, I was scared as shit. Cause like I'm like, well, like Laura, I know you, but nobody knows me. And then I'm coming to a state that like I don't know at all. I've been here for a year. Not bad.
Right.
I enjoy St. Louis. I like it.
I'm glad you're here, man. And
hey,
like,
I'm glad. Hey, I'm
glad you make my friend happy.
I have a residency here now.
Right. I'm glad you make my friend happy, and you guys get along. And then like when she told me you guys were moving in together, I was like, whoa!
Everybody said that. I was like, what? What? That's a real thing?
She was like, I don't know how to feel. I was like, I don't know how to feel about how you feel. I don't know what to feel.
Oh Lord! All our friends were like, are you?
No, I was thinking like, are you pregnant? Is that why you're
There's another reason you're not doing this on your own accord. There's no reason.
From Newtown Pineapple Company. Man, South City.
Oh, to South City, and then like, oh, I wake up on a Sunday. Guess what? You're an Uber right away.
Oh God.
Oh man.
Yeah. Man. So, the Suave Sommelier on Instagram. I'm not gonna spell it out because I couldn't. I'm at Cecil W. Adams on all platforms, and you can always follow the Soulardians at the THE Soulardians on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I'll tell you what, man, this has been a lot of fun.
This was fun. I didn't know what to expect going in, but I had a good time, a good ass time doing this.
I'm glad you liked it, man. You know, as always, what does Marcus always say? Love yourself and love something. I don't know.
Love cognac.
Love cognac. Love the cognac.
That's a new tag.
Yeah, love the cognac. Hashtag love the cognac. Hashtag love the wine.
The yak.
Hashtag love gin. Hashtag someday we'll get paid to talk about liquor on the air. Hashtag the Soulardians. Hashtag the South St. Louis. Also, don't forget, if you enjoy this and you enjoy what we're doing, come by the hashtag Kobo. Hashtag Kobo means Colorado Bob Ship of Fools at 3457 Morganford Rd.
Yep.
And I appreciate all you guys. And until next time, peace.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?